We will rejoice and be glad today. Whether in your car, in your house, the single you got a spouse. It's now time to open up your mouth and let the praise out. Femi Sachs, what we telling them?
This is a day, bro.
Okay, let me hear it.
This is the day, Lord, you have made. We will rejoice and be glad.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday to you all. As you enter, you know what to do. Say good morning. Let me know that you can hear me and that you can see me on this morning. I know we had issues on Tuesday when I was on. Let me know that you can hear me and see me. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So the title of this morning's devotional is Launch Out into the Deep. Launch Out into the Deep. And the focus text for this morning is Luke 5, 1 through 7. Luke 5, 1 through 7. Reading from the New King James Version. It reads, "So it was as the multitude pressed about him to hear the word of God, that he stood by the lake of Gennesaret and saw two boats standing by the lake. But the fishermen had gone from them and were washing their nets. Then he got into one of the boats, which was Simon's, and asked him to put out a little from the land. And he sat down and taught the multitude from the boat. When he had stopped speaking, he said to Simon, 'Launch out into the deep and let down your nets for a catch.' But Simon answered and said to him, 'Master, we have toiled all night and caught nothing. Nevertheless, at your word, I will let down the net.' And when they had done this, they caught a great number of fish, and their net was breaking. So they signaled to their partners in the other boat to come and help them. And they came and filled both the boats so that they began to sink." So the Lake of Gennesaret is also called the Sea of Galilee and the Sea of Tiberias. Let's break down these scriptures. So verse 4, when he said stop speaking, he said to Simon, when he had stopped speaking, he said to Simon, "Launch out into the deep and let down your nets for a catch." Launch means to throw forward or release. To set a boat or ship afloat. Side note: the nets that the fishermen used back then were they were bell shaped with lead weights around the edges. They would throw the nets flat onto the water, and the lead weights would cause it to sink into the water around the fish. Then they would pull on a cord to enclose the net around the fish. So Jesus wanted to do something nice for Simon for allowing him to use his boat to teach. Jesus not only wants to save us, he wants to help us in our daily activities. He wants to help us perfect our craft. When he told Simon to launch out into the deep, he was telling him to switch up his routine a bit. So you tried things your way and it didn't work. And I know that you are an experienced fisherman, but I need you to trust me and let me show you how to do your job my way. That's what Jesus is saying. Let me show you how to do your job my way. So you won't be able to catch any fish in the shallow part of the water. You have to go out into the deep. But the important thing here, he told Simon to let down your nets, plural, meaning more than one. But in verse 5, it says, "But Simon answered and said to him, 'Master, We have toiled all night and caught nothing. Nevertheless, at your word, I will let down the net. Now, I had to read this a few times because it upsets me every time I read it. Because Simon's comment, it comes off to me as a little cocky, right? And that's something me as a child, I would have got backhanded for, right? He acknowledged the Lord as master. Master means teacher, commander, or someone with power. But then the next statement, Simon could have kept to himself. We have toiled all night and caught nothing. It's as if he was saying, look, master, I've seen you heal the sick and perform other miracles, but this is my profession. Like, I got this. We've been out here all night and didn't catch anything. But you know what? In spite of that, I'll let down the net because you said so, right? Why do we give commentary or like excuses before we go ahead and do what we are told to do? Why do we do that? Why couldn't it have just been a simple yes, sir, or okay? Right? Why did he have to add commentary? I don't like that. It's like, you're getting smart. I don't like that. But he said, Master, we have toiled all night and caught nothing. Nevertheless, at your word, I will let down the net. So Jesus told him in verse 4 to let down your nets, plural, multiple, right? And Simon responded and only let down one net, right? His stubbornness caused him to miss the assignment. And for that reason, he had some trouble. Let's take a look at verse 6 and 7. So they read, and when they had done this, they caught a great number of fish, and their net, singular, was breaking. So they signaled to their partners in the other boat to come and help them. And they came and filled both the boats so that they began to sink. So when you don't follow instructions properly, or when you are disobedient, you run into some issues, right? Had he listened and let down multiple nets, his one net wouldn't have broken. Because he didn't do as he was told, he had to ask for help from the other fishermen from the other boats, and they had to fill their boats as well, right? In spite of Simon not listening, Jesus still blessed him. He will bless you in spite of you. At that time, most fishermen would have fished at the shallow water during that specific day and time. But Jesus commanded Peter to go out into the deep, to launch out into the deep. John 15 and 5, it reads, I am the vine, you are the branches. He who abides in me and I in him bears much fruit. For without me, you can do nothing. We can't do anything without the Lord, right? Jesus wasn't with Simon the night before when he went fishing and caught nothing, right? He was fruitless. He was fishless, I should say. Sometimes in order for God to bless you, you have to go against the traditions or customs of men and do exactly what God tells you to do, no matter how crazy it seems. God will command us to leave a familiar place and go to a place where our blessings are waiting for us, because the blessing that awaited Simon was not in the shallow waters, but it was out in the deep. It was out in the deep. Launch out into the deep so you can do your job in preparation for the job I predestined you to do. He predestined us for something. He wants to perfect your job, help you perfect your job, right? You're a fisherman, but follow me and I will make you fishers of men. So he will use your occupation to do his work for his kingdom. I just showed you how to catch an excessive amount of fish. Now follow me so I can show you how to apply a similar concept to catch people for my glory. That's all he's saying. So when we trust and obey the Lord, it's for his glory and our own benefit, because there is a blessing in the lesson. There is a blessing in the lesson. Not only did Peter let down his net that day, he also let down his pride and his ego. Verse 8, it reads, when Simon Peter saw it, he fell down at Jesus' knees, saying, depart from me, for I am a sinful man, O Lord. So what is God telling you to let go of in this season? Have you launched out into the deep and let down your nets, plural? Have you let down the net of fear so God can make you fearless? Have you let down the net of inconsistency so that you can learn how to be consistent? Have you let down the net of worry so you can become stress-free? Have you let down the net of anger so you can experience peace in the Lord? Have you let down the net of discouragement so you can experience encouragement? Have you let down the net of gossip so you can learn to control your tongue? Have you let down the net of depression so you can be cheerful? Have you let down the net of brokenness so God can make you whole? Have you let down the net of bitterness or the net of regret so you can be content and experience joy? And have you let down the net of failed relationships, whatever it may be, so that God can give you a better relationship, or so that he can help you win, because victory belongs to him. And when you let these things down, you have to release them into the deep, because if you release them in the shallow end, they're easily accessible. No, you have to launch them out into the deep. So not releasing your troubles or going back to pick them up will cause you to miss your assignment. There's a blessing waiting for you at the end of the assignment. So you have to keep pushing. Maybe God has been trying to get you to seek him consistently so he can take you deeper with him. Maybe he is the deep, right? Maybe he wants you to launch out into him. You let down these things, which is your net, you're going to get something better in return. We read verse 2 when it talked about the fishermen being away from their boats, cleaning their nets. They had to keep them clean and free from debris and mend any tears. Sometimes God takes us to deeper waters, not to drown us, but to cleanse us. Not to drown us, but to cleanse us. Romans 12:1 talks about presenting our bodies as a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable to God. Maybe we are the net. Sometimes we get in our own way in prolonging our blessings. Maybe we need to let ourselves down so that God can mend us. Launch ourselves out into the deep. Psalm 138:23-24. Psalm 138:23-24. It reads, search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. Point out anything in me that offends you and lead me along the path of everlasting life. We have to allow God to transform and renew our minds. We have to stop trying to do things our way repeatedly when they're not working. Allow him to show us a different way. Let him wash us whiter than snow. Launch out into the deep with faith so that God can grow you, so that he can bless you. He has so much more to give you than what you could have got from yourself. And we know from this, without him, they got nothing. They had been fishing for a while and they didn't catch anything. He wants to help you catch. He is the catch. Listen, I hope this was a blessing to you all on this morning. Make sure you all tune in tomorrow for Friday's devotional. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye, everybody. Maybe if I can get off.